everyone to Amigos IAS. I am Adnan. In today's segment, we'll be discussing Global Biofuels Alliance. Last Saturday, on the sidelines of G20 summit at the G20 Leaders Conference, Prime Minister Modi, along with the other world leaders, unveiled this ambitious alliance. Now, this alliance deals with the production distribution of biofuels, which are basically bioenergy. The world is now going towards this transition towards clean energy. International Energy Agency also has mentioned that in order to transition towards 2050 net zero goals, we need to always increase our investments into clean energy sector like solar, wind, as well as biofuels. So biofuels, keyword for us is energy transition is going on. What type of energy it is? Clean energy. Clean energy, because of the climate change which is right now accelerating at a large pace. We have to tackle this increasing pace of climate change. For that, we need to reduce our emissions. Under various COP summits, countries have given their targets. For example, India has given its target that we would like to be net zero country by 2070. Net zero by 2070. That is our goal. And Prime Minister Modi also has mentioned in his independence speech on 75th Independence Day of India that we would like to become completely energy independent by 2047. That means complete clean energy in India by 2047. As of now, more than 80% of India's energy needs are coming from various other countries. We import energy. So India wants to be self-sufficient by 2047. These are the important targets for us. And in line with those targets, this particular alliance is proposed. And there are already many international alliances which we will see, and also many initiatives taken by Indian government over the past many years for the clean energy. We will be taking up some of the important aspects of bioenergy in this particular class. So starting with this initiative is of course proposed by India. The main key point is adoption of biofuels. As many as 19 countries, including the 7 G20 countries, and see here, India, Argentina, Brazil, Canada, Italy, South Africa, Bangladesh, Mauritius, Sri Lanka, many countries have evinced interest in this particular alliance. Not only the countries, but also, as you can see, 12 international organizations have agreed to join this alliance. Example, World Bank, International Energy Agency, International Renewable Energy Agency. Like this, we have 12 organizations, international organizations, who are willing to be a part of this alliance. Because biggest consumers and producers of biofuel are going to come together. For example, India, USA, and Brazil. These three countries are having 85% of production of biofuels in the world. 85%. And these three countries together consume 81% of the ethanol. So that means biggest producers, consumers are coming together in this alliance to promote the use of biofuels is the keyword here. Right? So what is the aim of this? Have this biofuels as a very important aspect for the energy transition towards clean energy. We want to move away from fossil fuels and we want to go towards clean energy for the sake of a proper good planet, contribute to jobs and economic growth. How? Because investing in any kind of fuels will always require a lot of raw materials, production, distribution. That means it is going to create an industry, and this will promote jobs as well. And what else are the other initiatives as of now in the world? Just because sometimes UPSC asks them in the previous questions. So just see. Clean Energy Ministerial Biofuture Platform, sometimes we call it in simple words as Biofuture Platform. Mission Innovation, it is by European Commission. Okay, Bioenergy Initiatives, Global Bioenergy Partnership. Okay, these two are by other international organizations. Mission Innovation by European Commission. Sometimes UPSC, as we can see, these years trends for the past 2 years. Some insignificant, not so very important organizations are being asked in the exam. So please do read up on these initiatives. Can be asked in the exam. Very important, right? So apart from the alliance, what are the existing initiatives important in the world are these three, right? Next one. What are basically these biofuels? We have to understand. What are the first generation, second generation, third and fourth generation biofuels? Biofuels are something which are made out of the biomass. As simple as that. Plants have some waste, animal waste are there, feedstocks are there. That means vegetable oils are there, animal oils are there. All these are nothing but raw materials from which we can actually make the biofuels. So fuels that are made out of the biomass, they are organic. Okay, they can be solid in the form of wood as well as manure, solid agricultural waste, or liquid bioethanol, biodiesel, or biogas. Different types of biofuels are there. Okay, they can be in different forms also. That means burning of wood will be giving us biomass. From biomass burning we'll be getting the biogas, as we know. Biofuels are made from plant or animal products. Some are produced by the extracting of sugar, fermentation, from the crops, as well as other biofuels are coming by decaying of organic matter. Anaerobic digestion, anaerobic activity happens in the biogas plant. So all these are different ways in which we can manufacture the biofuels. And we can also use modern day technologies. We can also use genetic engineering these days to produce biofuels, right? So they emit less carbon dioxide because our aim is to reduce the pollution. So they emit less carbon dioxide than the conventional fuels, and because of this quality, we can blend them, we can mix them with other fuels. For example, petrol, diesel, we are doing the blending so that we have to have clean fuel, or we can reduce the emissions which almost come from the other currently used fossil fuels. So for example, as of now, India is blending 10% of ethanol into petrol. So this is going to increase the efficiency of the engine as well as reduce the emissions also. Very important point. Fine. So reducing emissions is one of the most important aspect here in transportation sector. And in the world as of now, 3.5% of road transport is run by biofuels. And we want to enhance this to 5.4% in the next 10 years, at least by 2032. We want to increase it by 5.4%. It's our target. Okay. 5.4% we want to increase by 2032. That is a target to increase the biofuels. And next point, this can be asked in the exams. So I'll be reading up in case you are not able to see on the video. First generation, second generation, third and fourth generation biofuels. First generation means directly coming from food crops, has high carbon content, made from edible items which we can eat, and arable land is required to cultivate these crops, because for example, sugarcane is there, we need to have land for cultivation, and from that sugarcane residue what we get, for example molasses is there, we have to take it from there. That means arable land means the land on which agriculture is possible, that is required for the first generation biofuels coming from food crops. Very important point. So sugar, corn, starch, etc. From these wastes we are making the first generation biofuel. What is second generation biofuel? It is mostly non-food based, or anything which is left over from the food crops is called as second generation biofuel. Pay attention, okay? So made from leftover food crops, rice husk, wood chips, as you can see here. Fine, and you can see maize or corn there. What about third generation biofuel? Third generation biofuel is coming from algae and microorganisms. We are cultivating algae or cultivating any other microorganisms, and from there we are going to get the third generation biofuel. And what about fourth generation biofuel? It is completely coming by genetic engineering technologies. Fine. And what about the carbon content? Generally, the first generation biofuel, the complaint is that it is taking more energy to produce biofuel. So net energy positive it is called. Okay, net energy positive, because it is taking more energy to produce this thing. So if the fuel is there for us in the first generation biofuel, but actually to make that fuel we are expending more energy, that is why it is called as net positive. In second generation biofuel, it is net negative energy is there. That means we to produce second generation biofuel, less energy is required. Less energy is required to produce second generation biofuel. That is why it's called net negative, because we have to subtract energy. Third generation biofuel, here it is carbon neutral almost. That means how much energy is required to produce biofuel from the algae is equal to how much energy we can use after the biofuel is made from the algae. That means how much energy we are making to make the biofuel and what energy is given by the biofuel, both will be similar almost. Okay, carbon sequestration means what? Absorption. Okay, carbon emission, carbon absorption almost equal, so it is almost neutral. What about fourth generation biofuel? It is good. It is carbon negative, means we require less amount of carbon, less amount of energy to produce this fourth generation biofuel. If everything is easy, what is the problem then? Problem is the production costs are very high to produce biofuels, and the industry again is not very promising also. For that reason, investments are still not very high, right? But let us hope in future it is going to change. And to understand this topic further, both for prelims and main, we have to understand what is India's biofuel policy launched in 2018. So I'll give a summary of this for you. Target is 20% blending of ethanol in petrol and 5% of blending of biodiesel in diesel by 2030. Now what we are seeing in India, that instead of going for 2030, let us have more ambitious target. Let us make this ethanol blending target of 20% of ethanol in petrol. 2025 to 26 is our aim as of now. 2025 to 26 instead of 2030. And how much of biodiesel in diesel? It is 5%. This is target of India. This is what India proposed in this global biofuel alliance, that entire world, not just India. We want the entire world to make this target of 20% ethanol blended in the petrol. Right? And in the aviation sector also we want to promote this. Aviation turbine fuel is quite costly, it is very expensive, and many airlines are facing problems of finances because the aviation turbine fuel on which the plane runs is quite costly. So there also we want to increase the use of ethanol in the aviation turbine fuel. Let us hope in future we will do it. As of now only 1% experiment we have done on SpiceJet plane, and we want to increase that further. Fine. So viability gap funding means, because to implement this particular biofuels, to increase the biofuels, money gap is there. So government is going to find some amount of money. How much it is? For 2G ethanol, second generation ethanol biorefineries, 5,000 crores in 6 years you want to spend for the amount. And what else? They have categorized biofuels into basic and advanced biofuels. Other categorization, basic means what here? First generation bioethanol and biodiesel. Advanced biofuels also are there, second generation ethanol. So just remember these, what are the basic biofuels, what are the advanced biofuels. Fine? Basic are bioethanol and biodiesel, and advanced are second generation ethanol, drop-in fuels, algae based, third generation is algae based, don't forget, algae or microorganisms. This is also mentioned in the India's biofuel policy. And next one, develop national biomass repository by conducting appraisal of biomass across the country. What are the feedstocks? Feedstocks means the raw materials required to produce biogas. Make a proper data bank of that. Wherever the raw materials are available, make a list of that. And biodiesel production to be encouraged from edible oil seeds. Oil is required to produce this biodiesel also. Okay, for cooking oil, short duration crops, development of supply chain mechanisms to enhance the production of biodiesel. And research development is required for feedstock production, because we need to continuously understand from where raw material is going to come for this biofuel. So more research has to be done on this area. As well as increasing scope of raw material, as just told. B molasses, intermediate molasses. There are different stages of production of this sugarcane. In the last stage, molasses will be there, but in second stage also molasses will be coming, and that second stage is intermediate stage, from which sugar content will be rich in this molasses. We can use that sugar for our raw materials for the biofuels. That is why intermediate B molasses is there, sugarcane juice of course, and damaged as well as surplus food grains also have to be procured as raw materials. First generation biofuels. First generation means directly food crops. Setting up of National Biofuel Coordination Committee under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Who is the chairman of this particular National Biofuel Coordination Committee, which will decide on the policies regarding the biofuels in India? The answer is the minister himself. The Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, the chairman of the National Biofuel Coordination Committee. Please keep an eye and remember these salient features of biofuel policy can be asked in the mains examination. Apart from this, what are the other initiatives Indian government is taking? Okay, just small before that, this is the, I'm not sure whether you're able to see it or not. So intermediate molasses, sugarcane juice, sugar beet, sorghum, cassava, rice grain, rotten potatoes, broken rice, all these surplus food grains, all of these can be used as raw materials for production of biofuels. Hopefully you can see that. Next one, other important initiatives by the government. Let me just quickly show it to you. So, indigenous cellulolytic enzyme, we already developed this one, because this cellulolytic enzyme will break down the complex molecules into simpler ones. For example, cellulose can be converted to glucose, which can be again used for biofuels. That is the production here what has been done in India. Second generation ethanol also we have developed properly and we have given it to the oil marketing companies for blending of this particular ethanol as well. And with other international initiatives like Mission Innovation, Biofuture platform, we already are collaborating a lot. Fine. Pradhan Mantri G1 Yojana, again for second generation ethanol production sector, government has launched one scheme called as Pradhan Mantri G1 Yojana. Fine. And 2018 biofuel policy, already we have discussed this point. Fine. Government reduced GST on ethanol blending from 18% to 5% in order to boost this. That is another important point here. Apart from this, another scheme is Gobar scheme. Means what? Gobar means, what is Gobar? It's the cow dung. Cow dung can be used as fuel as well. Right? Or cow dung can also be used as an important resource, a feedstock as well. See here, converting cattle dung and solid waste in forms for compost, for biogas, and for bio-CNG. So that means we can provide some revenue for those people who are providing cow dung for the farmers, and the latest will be also clean, and this will be helpful for production of biogas as well. So very interesting scheme, Govardhan scheme. Okay, launched under Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin or villages. Then what about this initiative launched by FSSAI, Food Safety Standard Authority of India, RUCO, repurpose used cooking oil. It is not good to use the same cooking oil again and again, multiple purposes. So what we can do, government can say, please give your oil to me. I will collect your oil once you have already fried your pakoras or whatever, mirchi, and once your cooking oil has been used, give it to us, we will collect it and we will again send it for the other production of biofuels. Very interesting concept. Okay, RUCO, launched by FSSAI, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It will enable the collection and conversion of used cooking oil and we can use this oil for biodiesel. So these are some of the important schemes existing in the government of Indian government, and these schemes together, if you see, they are actually focusing on clean energy in India. Fine, and it of course makes sense that India is promoting the usage of biofuels, and this alliance, let us hope all the countries will join together and they will pool their resources, share their technologies, create some good investment opportunities, more and more industries for the clean energy. Circular economy has to be created. Circular economy means what? That means we are promoting you're using the products, you're consuming the products, and you're also promoting the reuse of the products. That is what is called as circular economy. Reusability has to be the motto for all of us. So clean energy is the keyword here. Economic growth is also a keyword here, and mostly focusing on the transportation sector here. So all these key terms you have to understand and write them in the main answers. Fine. That is the National Biofuels Policy as well as the Global Biofuels Program or Alliance. Now the question for you is the previous year UPSC 2020 question. According to India's National Policy on Biofuels, launched in 18 question and prelims 2020. Okay, which of the following can be used as raw materials for the production of biofuels? Cassava, damaged wheat grains, groundnut seeds, horse gram, rotten potatoes, sugar beet. I will not be giving you the answer for this. You will have to give the answer. Please find out, don't Google search. If you have listened to this class properly, you will be able to answer this question. So please do post the answer in the comment box. So that's it for this class. If you have any questions, please post in the comments. I will see you again in the next video. Until then, thank you.